Tom Price, and welcome to the positive side of 2012. The year 2012 began a marvelous, magical time of change, and most of you are likely unfamiliar with what this means. Among other very important things, it's out with the bad guys and in with the good guys. That means we are getting America back, we're getting the world back, and Mother Earth is going to become the incredible, beautiful, amazing place she once was. ThePlanetDailyNews.com is the website, and our YouTube channel is The Positive Side of 2012. Both of these are dedicated to bringing you proof that things are changing, and that this is not just rhetoric or someone's crazy dream. Hello, this is Tom, and this is a formal public announcement of the Galactic Codex. Now, when you file bankruptcy, I know you have to put an ad in the paper and tell the world all about it, or maybe when you sell a home, maybe. That's what this is. This is a formal public announcement in the public, quote-unquote, newspaper, so to speak, or a full-page ad. Just imagine it's a full-page ad in the New York Times. That's what this is. So it's directed at the public. Now, we have read the Galactic Codex many times on our missions, and it's always been directed straight at the bad guys, the obvious targets. Well, now here the difference is this is directed at the public, the general public, and that could mean you. I hope not, but that could mean you. And one of the primary targets of this is people who are interfering with the ascension process of others, knowingly doing so. I mean, there's an orb over everyone's head. That orb can read your intention. Nothing is a secret. So we know, the intention of everyone. Good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter. So this is directed at those with ill intent who are intentionally misleading people and preventing them from getting proper help with their ascension process, i.e., getting on the orb and getting out of this matrix. An obvious example would be religious people who are in the pulpit. Now, we've done a lot of work on the religions. We're working on the religions to fix and help that situation. So hopefully that's pretty well fixed. But nonetheless, there may still be some people in the pulpit here who have really bad intention. That's what it's about, bad, ill intention, who are charging money and knowing fully well that they're doing the wrong thing. That's who this is going after. The target here, the reason I'm saying this is not because of the churches. The reason I'm saying this is because of the following. The churches are one example, but the real thing here, in my mind, is people who are intentionally misleading people away from the ascension process, leading them away from getting onto the orb. People see the opportunity, this orb is great, maybe they can make a buck off of it. So they do something, they're not on the orb, and they start getting people in, charging them money and telling you that they can help you and charge you money. And knowing fully well they can't. Knowing fully well they don't know what they're doing. Intention, it's their intention again. So that's who this is, one of the primary targets this is oriented towards. So I think that's all I have to cover here. So please listen to the whole thing, because again, it has all the details in it. There's other targets in it. So please listen carefully. And again, this is a full-page ad, figuratively speaking, in the New York Times of the Galactic Codex. The bad guys are virtually gone. We've taken them all out now. So it's time for us to start addressing things, smaller targets in the public. Because anyone doing those types of things, they can't get out of here. They're not going to be able to get out. So we got to deal with them now, beforehand.
We will now activate the Galactic Codex in a form that is understandable to an average awakened being in a human society. This is on record. We are activating. This is Commander Sinel, aka 3D representation, infinite creator, merged with universal mother, merged with universal father, personas, and all the children of the law of one. Please confirm, Commander Ashtar, my complete authority as the 3D representative to activate the Codex. Sections 1, 2, 3, and 4. Please confirm. I need 3 confirmations.
Confirmed.
I'm getting fathers confirming.
Yes, be confirmed. Confirmed.
Thank you. That is a unanimous. Section 1, the law of divine grace. Each sentient being has an unalienable and unconditional right to positive life experience. To explain, Section 1, we need to understand that suffering and pain have no value in enlightened galactic society, liberated from the influence of dark forces and other aspects of cosmic abnormality. To value pain, suffering, and sacrifice as a part of the growth experience was a part of the programming from the dark forces in order to enslave the population of the occupied planets more easily. Unconditional positive life experience of every sentient being in the liberated universe is guaranteed from the interconnection of every living being with the source and strengthened by the power of ascended masters over matter, which allows them to assist all living beings in their aspirations toward the source and provide them with necessities of life. Life was never meant to be hard work and struggle, but rather a journey of joy and creativity. Different subsections of Section 1 regulates all life in a liberated universe and all relationships between beings of light so that conflicts never need to occur. Let us explain the subsections. Subsection 1. 1. Each sentient being has an unalienable, unconditional right to physical and spiritual abundance. Section 1, 2. Each sentient being has an unalienable and unconditional right to ascension. Section 1, 3. Each sentient being has an unalienable, unconditional right to merge with other beings in proportion with his or her position in the soul family mandala. Section 1, 4. Each sentient being has an unalienable, unconditional right to all information. Section 1, 5. Each sentient being has an unalienable, unconditional right to freedom. This subsection provides that every being has an unlimited potential of growth and life experience. Since all beings in the liberated universe create only positivism, their freedom never opposes the freedom of the other beings. Section 3. The law of dividing the conflicting parties. Each sentient being has an unalienable, unconditional right to be divided and protected from the negative actions of other sentient beings. Section 3. The law of balance. Each sentient being that has chosen to live and act against the principles of the Galactic Codex and refuses to or is not able to accept them now and balance the consequences of the past actions will be taken to the central sun, restructured into the basic elemental essence, and begin a new cycle of evolution afresh. This section regulates the relations between the forces of light and the forces of darkness. When defeated beings that belong to the forces of darkness are given the opportunity to accept the Galactic Codex, do the best they can to correct the mistakes they made, and to live positively afterwards, if they accept, provided they pass this scan, that their intent is true, they are forgiven and join the Confederation. If they are unable or unwilling to accept, they are taken to the central sun, Their personalities and soul essences are restructured with electric fire, and their divine spark begins a new cycle of evolution. Section 4, the Law of Intervention. The Galactic Confederation has an unalienable, unconditional right to the intervention in all situations where the Galactic Codex is violated, regardless of the local laws. This section describes the policy of the light forces regarding occupied planets. The Confederation reserves the right to intervene in all areas, civilizations, planets, or solar systems where the Galactic Codex is violated. It has the right to do so, regardless of the position of the local civilizations about this intervention. It always has the right to use all peaceful means of education and regulation. If the critical mass of the Galactic Codex principles is violated, it has the right to use military force. Special cases are planets under direct occupation of the dark forces. The dark forces usually take the local population hostage to hinder the progress of the forces of light. This situation is now being resolved, and planet Earth will be liberated soon. We're in the process of completing that liberation. Section 4.1. Each sentient being has an unalienable, unconditional right of calling upon the Galactic Confederation in need, and the Galactic Confederation has the right to assist regardless of local laws. This subsection gives a legal basis for intervention and assistance to all hostages of the dark forces. The forces of light always do the best they can to assist and improve the living conditions of all sentient beings, even on Earth. The situation on planet Earth just indicates light on this planet. Fortunately, this is changing now. We had complaints filed, official complaints of this voice-to-skull targeted harassment. Section 4.2. The Galactic Confederation has an unalienable, unconditional right to the implementation of the Galactic Codex and conquering the areas of the Galactic Codex violations with military force if necessary. This subsection gives a legal basis for the liberation of the occupied planets with military force. The military forces of the Confederation remove or give assistance in removal of the representatives of the dark forces and set the hostages free. Then the other Confederation forces guide the process of acceptance of the planet into the Confederation by instructing the local population. Perhaps some humans feel that the Confederation has no right to intervene, and that humanity has the right to solve its problems by itself. This is simply not true. Many wars all over the planet and constant abuse of the basic human rights have proven that humanity is not capable of handling its own situation. So it is much better that it receives wise guardians to guide it. The Confederation will give assistance in replacing current masters of the puppets, dark forces that humanity did not invite. This was an invasion. Then the Galactic Codex will finally become the universal code of ethics throughout the universe. There will always be duality, but it will not be this type of darkness. Commander Ashtar, please confirm the acceptance, and for the record, this military action has commenced.